How's it going, everybody? Today we've got a Nissan Pulsar GTI-R and I'm here with its owner, Richard. So, Richard, thank you for bringing this car down. So, what makes this car so unique?
Well, although it's obviously quite rare to see a Pulsar these days, this is one of 21 that were actually built by Nismo themselves in Japan, and they were built specially to just take straight out and rally. So they came obviously with nothing in them, fully lightened and caged. But this is one of the only one that went to all tech, which added extra options such as the wheels, the Nardi steering wheel, the rear strut brace, but it's got full Nismo suspension, it's got the front, centre and rear limited slip differential, full belly underpan, it's got lightened glass, lightened panels I believe. Yeah, it's fully stripped out, it's got nothing, no central lock-in, no air conditioning, no ABS, no electric windows, and it's as light as they possibly could make it.
So how did it get over to the UK?
Well, to be honest, I've had a few Pulsars in the past, and to me the holy grail for me was always going to be an ivory one. I believe around 700 were actually built in ivory. That was a mix-up of RA, which is a road-going version, and RB, which is the stripped-out lightweight edition. So I used an agent in Japan to try and find me one. This was 10 years ago. They kept finding oddities, but this turned up and I actually had to double take at the screen. I was like, surely that can't be one of... Yeah, so I immediately knew what it was, and I knew it was coming up for auction, and I also knew it wasn't actually running, and they were adamant that I shouldn't bid on this car. But no, I persevered. I was like, no, this is the one I want. I really honestly couldn't care if it wasn't running. This is a one and only chance to get one of these. So yeah, I managed to, luckily enough, win the auction, and got it shipped over to the UK. And the amount of stuff underneath that you find, because you don't get anything. There's no history. But so yeah, I was pleased. That's exactly what I thought it was.
Why was it not running?
Well, when I came over, it was idling, but it was running on 3 cylinders. But actually, quite a lot of help from the owners forum at the time, and one of the people suggested I actually just have a quick look under the. So I stripped the intercooler off, took the rocker cover off, and all it had done was thrown a rocker arm. So I dropped the cylinder off a rocker arm. So we undid the cams and put it all back together.
Okay.
And it's been running fine for 10 years.
Have you had any major problems with the car except for that, just in the last 10 years?
It's genuinely been one of the most reliable cars I've ever owned.
Seriously? Wow. So what would be the specs of the car?
In standard form, GTI-R it's 228 horsepower, 0 to 60 around 5.1 seconds. But this being obviously stripped out and lightened, hard to guess. I've never had it weighed, but I'd say 1,100 kilograms.
Okay.
But although I've tried to keep it standard looking, I've had a bit of fettling, so it's got a period correct PowerFC. It's been mapped quite aggressively. I think I've probably not to 60 in around 4 seconds.
Really? Wow, 4 seconds.
Yeah, and 335 horsepower.
Was the horsepower figure to the dyno or to the crank?
It's to the crank.
Okay.
Yeah, transmission losses probably around 90 horsepower.
So what is the engine in the Nissan?
It's an SR20 DET. It's specific to this car. It's classed as a 54C. So obviously it's mounted transversely, and it was quite unique at the time. It came with quad throttle bodies from factory, T28 turbo, and obviously with this being the Nismo, it's got front, centre and rear limited slip differential.
3 of them.
So yes. It really grips the road. The diffs really help. As it pull out the corner.
It's just gripping and gripping and gripping. So have you got any other future plans for the car?
Well, because I've been using it on and off for the last 10 years, probably just there's I think everyone knows the imperfections of their own car, so there's a few things I want to address. That'll probably be within the next year. Probably get a bit of paintwork done. Okay. Not too much. I like to keep I like its blemishes.
You want to keep its originality, I'm guessing.
Yeah. There's certainly nothing under the engine bay.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it exactly as it is.
Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't gone deaf after 10 years with owning this car.
What was that?
So since there was only 21 made, would you know how many are left in the world?
I wouldn't actually know, but a rough estimate would probably be between 5 and 8, because they were as they were built to be rallied straight from the factory. They were quite a disposable car.
Okay.
And I'm sure a lot of people had a lot of fun with them. Yeah, there's one or two crop up from time to time. There was one appeared last year at an auction, a collector's car auction in America. That used to belong to the CEO of Nismo himself.
Okay.
And that was that's probably the nicest one I think I've ever saw.
So since it doesn't have ABS, do you have to be quite experienced to drive it?
Yes, I would say so, especially in the changing weather. And the wet, it can be a bit wild.
Okay.
Yeah, but the limited slip diffs do work. They do work really well. I've had a Pulsar in the past where, you know, if you floor it, the back end of the car tries to overtake the front.
Oh, right. Okay.
In the wet.
God, you literally fly with this thing. Wow. How often do you drive the car, personally?
Usually, it's really just a fair weather friend, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
Yeah, it's off the road for 6 months of the year, so it comes out in the summer, take it out whenever get the chance to.
Yep.
Yeah, so not very often. It's only done 37,000 miles from new.
I still find it funny how, like, today they still are finding it hard to get the performance that they got 30 years ago. Like, for something like this, the GTIRs. I mean,
To me, it's taken a long time to get anything like this. This car's 33 years old.
yeah. What's the best miles per gallon you can get out of it?
On a long run, if you run it off boost sensibly, keep to the speed limits, obviously all the time. About 30 miles to the gallon. Yeah.
Seriously, 30? Okay, that's reasonable for something with this power, and obviously it's got 4-wheel drive, which I don't think would help, but you get what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine enough on the motorways. Obviously, if you put the foot down a bit, you'll be well below 10 miles to the gallon.
Oh yeah.
5 or 6.
So what would be some of the quirks about the car?
Quirks wise, well, on the Phase 1 cars, they all came with an umbrella for some reason in the door. But again, to reduce weight, that was removed from this car as well.
Just like a Rolls Royce then? That's very funny.
Oh yes, it was handy if you ever broke down.
Oh yeah.
In the rain, yeah.
Well, since there is no radio, why has it got an antenna?
I have no idea.
Just for looks?
Must just be purely for looks.
Well, that adds more weight though.
Well, we can take it off.
Do the vents on the front of the car actually work?
They're fully functional, but I've actually found quite a rare. From new, they actually came with blanks for the actual side vents, but I've actually blanked them back off because if you ever wash the car, all the rain water goes down inside and it actually sits quite nice and comfortably on top of the engine.
It's not very good for the
Go
car,
anywhere?
yeah.
No, it just sits there.
So does the glove box work?
No, because of the way the cage has actually been placed inside the car. Yeah, you can access the glove box but you're probably better taking a 5-year-old with you to get their hands in. And also the sun visors don't come down either.
Because of the roll cage as well?
The roll cage, yeah.
Okay.
So non-functional, purely for show.
Since this is a 4-wheel drive car, can you put it into 2-wheel drive by any chance?
No, it's constant 4-wheel drive. It's a 50-50 split. Yeah, it's always in 4-wheel drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you drove this car all the way from Scotland over to Northern Ireland for a car show, correct?
That's correct, yes.
And it won an award. What place did you come?
It was in the top 10.
So what was the award for?
I believe there is a scoring system, and they go with things like rarity, originality, aftermarket modifications. Okay. So I probably scored quite high on rarity because it's the only one.
Oh yeah. It was the only one there, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Roughly how many cars were there?
Probably taken in inside and outside 250 to 300 cars.
So a fair amount. So wow, you scored very high there then.
Yeah, I think it's nice when I think the judges kind of know what they're looking for.
Wow, that was some ride, I gotta say. That was pretty fast. Well, thank you so much, Richard. An absolutely amazing car, and I'm so delighted to get this on the channel.
Yeah, no, you're welcome.
Oh.
It's nice to actually see or to meet people who actually appreciate something, you know, a bit different.
God, something as amazing as and something that you've kept so well. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. I'll see you again next year.
I'll see you in the next one, guys. Yeah. Peace out.